Love comes in many different forms, such as that which one feels for one's partner in life, in romantic love, in long and enduring relationships. And then there's the love that I've carried in my heart for my grandmother all of these years. And this essay is about her, and it's simply called Dear Grand-maman. And it goes like this. If you could invite someone from the past as a dinner guest, who would you invite to your table and why? Well, believe it or not, this used to be a popular question for job candidates in the corporate world. Somehow it was thought to provide insight into one's character and intellect. If that question were posed to me today, my answer would be much different from the arrogant response I might have given some years ago. These days, I often think of my grandmama Alice, and I long for a chat with her. As sure as the sun rises and sets, her quiet demeanor always created an aura of knowing and understanding. And as sure as the earth spins from one season into the next, she would be the one I'd want to invite to my table, not just for old time's sake, but for real and present advice on navigating the changing seasons. My grandmother, Alice Chevigné La Chevratière, was born in Lamoureux, a hamlet just outside of Edmonton, Alberta, on the northern shore of the North Saskatchewan River. She had a mixed European French and Cree heritage and was talented in sewing, tapestry making, embroidery and beadwork, and in making dandelion wine. She loved the song of the Red River Valley, an old country folk tune that migrated across the U.S. border into Canada. It's a well-known song in Western Canada, and it's about a Métis girl lamenting separation from her soldier lover who was off to fight in the Red River Rebellion. Of note, Métis leader Louis Riel rose to fame and was considered a hero amongst his people during that rebellion. My great-grandfather even witnessed the hanging of Louis Riel, but I digress. That's a story for another time. The tale to be told here is all about Alice Chevigné La Chevratière. At the age of 22, my grandmother married and, leaving her roots behind, spent the rest of her life in Eastern Canada. If I could write her a letter, one that she could physically touch and read and then tuck away in a memory box, my words would spill onto the page for the love of her, and my letter would go something like this. Dear Grand-maman, I remember the summer of my 12th year. I began commuting between Toronto and Montreal all by myself to spend glorious weeks with you, unencumbered by family strife on the home front. I was unsure of my footing and teetering on the brink of becoming a teenager. I was already burdened too soon with adult chores and financial woes. I remember your dark eyes, dark pools of wisdom with special powers to engage and enchant, and always bearing a hint of a smile and mischief. They were Mona Lisa eyes. It was the summer of learning how to sew French buttonholes worthy of an A+ in home economics class, and the lingering scent of Limburger cheese worthy of a truckload of laughter for years to come. The other day, whilst tidying my sewing basket, I came across a small blue swath of material, a sampler from my sewing lessons with you. I recall how half a stitch on an ancient Singer sewing machine, yes, learning how to pivot a corner using one teeny tiny stitch catapulted me into the world of stitch witchery. What a difference that half stitch made in my sewing prowess and in perfecting French buttonholes. You might be interested to know that that source of enlightenment has continued to serve me well throughout life, walking with both intention and caution, sometimes taking baby steps or half steps to get to where I want to go, rather than charging ahead like a bull in the proverbial china shop. On the matter of mischief, I recollect the oppressive summer heat of Montreal. There was not even a tease of a breeze, and we were without air conditioning at that time. It was also the summer of annoying neighbors. Living in a second-floor duplex, you shared real estate with a family of bored, overindulged children down below. One hazy, humid morning with crazy in the mix, those kids persisted in playing ball against the brickwork at the back of the duplex, long enough to cause a beating in the head. So, in the stillness of air and sudden lack of humor, or so I thought, you took a brick of Limburger cheese out of the frigo and set it on the counter until pliable and malodorous. It still lingers. It's hard to get the word out for how Limburger cheese smells in the heat of summer. With silent resolve, you began to break off pieces to form tiny cheese balls, all the while ignoring my questioning offers of help. In that moment, I thought perhaps they were for some sort of late afternoon hors d'oeuvre, snacks, maybe company was coming. But why the secrecy? Well, when the sun reached its zenith, the neighbor kids and their friends ceased their ball-banging games and retired to lunch. With no exaggeration, cracked eggs would have sizzled on the pavement that day as I watched you move through your kitchen like a cat on a hot tin roof. Taking your tray of cheese balls, you leaned far out of the back kitchen window and began flinging those tiny hors d'oeuvres against the brickwork below. The heat of the afternoon sun did its job in melting and melding cheese with brick. The ball-throwing ritual started up again following lunch. The cacophony of hard rubber balls mixed with yelling and squeals of one-upmanship on who could throw the highest to reach Grand-maman Alice's kitchen window was soon replaced by wailing. Kids ran crying to their mothers over the stench on their hands caused by who knows what. Without coaching or coercion, I remained silent. Except, of course, for stifled laughter. You know, the kind of laughter that makes your sides ache and beg for mercy. With a wide grin, you whispered to me, "Let's go out for ice cream." Dear Grand-maman, I'm so glad that you survived the Canadian residential school system and lived on to become my grandmother, my guiding light. Creativity and humor have shaped my lifelong pursuits, be they toils or trials, and have never failed to lighten my load. Most of all, I remember your encouragement to pursue my dreams while nudging me in the direction of music and writing. So I'm sending you much love to wherever you've taken up residence in that mysterious starry dome. On a final note to my readers and listeners in cyberspace, science tells us that the human body is made up of stardust and that life's energy never really dies, but rather transforms from one form to another. So while I cannot physically send my grandmother a letter, may she rest in peace, as a singer-songwriter, I have captured her spirit in a song entitled Folklore in Song, and I've surrendered that to the airwaves to penetrate time and space. My grandmother personified the name of her birthplace, Lamoureux, which translates to the loving one, and it warms my heart to think that her light, the essence of her energy, lives on.
Alberta snow.